What's up, everybody? Last night's session was pretty choppy. It felt like it at the time, and now that I'm looking back at all of the aftermath, it definitely was a tough session. This was most likely because of all the news. We had EcoFin meetings all day, very heavy Euro news at 2 a.m., plus very heavy news for the New York session at 5:30. Usually you can trade through any news that might be happening in the New York session while trading the London session, but there are times where the price action stalls out due to the anticipation of the news events. There are a lot of traders who actually trade the news. I never have been one personally. I do understand mostly how the news events will affect price, but they do seem to be pretty inconsistent at times. The price moves so fast that it causes a bunch of slippage either in your entry or exit points. On top of that, many prop firms, including FTMO, don't allow trading on certain news events. They don't like the slippage and uncertainty either. I took 6 trades last night, which is actually my maximum. It did end up being a red day. I broke a couple of rules, but nothing too egregious today. Let's take a look at those. All right, so like I said, I took 6 trades last night, and the first 2 that I took were on the GBP USD. So once again, if you've been following along for the past couple of days, you know that I was looking for the dollar to come up, especially starting on last night's session. So the start of the session was right over here. I thought that the dollar would continue going up from there. So that would have pushed this move down. So this was the start of the session. Right before the session started, we had a huge move down. And this usually, I think, under like normal circumstances would have continued going down. But for whatever reason, it actually reversed. It did a fake out into the opposite direction. So I took a couple sells here. Now, it's funny because as the stream was going on, I actually narrated this whole thing. What I should have done was set a sell stop there. And of course, that would have never triggered in the first place. But what I did anyway, or what I did instead, was I took a market order, which ended up getting stopped out. And I believe I took one more here. Yeah, I took one more here, thinking that it would finally come down, and obviously got stopped out there. Once again, had I used a stop order, that would have never happened. So on these super choppy days, stop orders are even more crucial than usual. I'm getting better about that. That's another little bad habit that I have to break. I have to use more stop orders instead of market orders. I say it all the time, and I don't do it all the time. So I have to start following my own advice on that one. I also had a couple buys on the EGBP. So right before the session, we had this giant move up. And on the hourly chart, you can see how it looks there. It crashed right into this level here. Giant move right into a level, and it's like a double level. It's a resistance level here, and it's a support level over here. So it's a super important level. So I took the buy. Let me see. I believe the first one was right here. I thought it was a pullback to the 8 EMA that would go up. So up in here somewhere. That one obviously failed. And then I took a double trade here at the 21 EMA, thinking that it would probably reverse on the 21, which usually happens, but obviously it didn't today. And I lost both of those trades there. So once again, had I been following the trading plan, I would have been at 3 losses already from the other 3. And I wouldn't even have taken those last 2 trades in the first place. So even if it did go through, I would have just had to miss the move and be okay with that, rather than losing even more. So definitely have to follow my plan here. This is why I put all these rules in the first place. Also had another loss over here. Oh yeah, it's on there still. So that was the one there. I was gonna go. It crashed into this level. I'm thinking that it's going to come down, but the dollar continued coming down for whatever reason. So that pushed all these pairs with the dollar on the backside. It pushed them up. So yeah, End up losing all those major pair trades, but one trade that I did see that was very good and didn't take and should have was this one on the USD franc. So there were a bunch of different entry points here. Let me show them like these. You had a consolidation, trend continuation there, and you had another one here. So either one of those would have worked. That one looked much better on the hourly chart too. That was pretty much the only solid trade that I saw last night. I looked around at all the pairs. I didn't see much else. Everything else was kind of just choppy and bouncing all over the place. This was the only one that looked really solid. This session here is a perfect example of why I have a couple of specific rules in my trading plan. First off, the maximum 6 trades per day. On occasion, you get these choppy days where the patterns simply aren't working and the trades just aren't going through. If you have a max of 6 trades, the most you should lose really is 6%. If you had a compound trade that day, it might be more than that, but that keeps it to where you won't have an absolute blowout. Also, my 2 attempts rule. I will attempt a move on a pair up to 2 times. Obviously, I broke that rule last night. I put this rule in because, again, days like this, where it looks like the price should be doing one thing and it's doing the complete opposite, you can give yourself a second chance in the case that you were just early on a move. But usually after 2 failed attempts, you should skip that move and look for a better one. And the final rule that is perfect for choppy days is the 3 losses in a row rule. If I have 3 solid losses in a row, that means I immediately leave the session. Either it's too unstable or I personally am not in the right state of mind to be trading that day. So had I followed my trading plan rules strictly, I would have had a 3% loss red day, which is very easily recoverable with just 1 trade on the following session. So that's all for today's recap. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'll be back on streaming tonight at 11:30 Pacific time as usual. Remember to always trade responsibly, and I'll see you guys later.